Commander Kethra fought to stay conscious as his warship plummeted toward the unknown planet. Warning alarms screamed throughout the cockpit. Sparks flew from damaged control panels. He gripped his command chair with all four arms as the ship tore through the atmosphere. "Shields at 20%, his onboard computer announced in a mechanical voice. "Hull breach detected. Life support failing." Kethra cursed in the ancient Vulcan tongue. This primitive world wasn't even on their star charts. No rescue would come. No fellow warriors would find him here. At least the locals were too underdeveloped to pose any threat. The impact came suddenly. Metal screeched against rock. The force threw Kethra forward. His head cracked against the navigation console. His exoskeleton, supposedly unbreakable, shattered like glass. Pain exploded through his body as green blood sprayed across the broken displays. The ship skidded across the mountainside, leaving a burning scar through the dense forest. Trees splintered, rocks shattered. Finally, with a horrible grinding sound, movement stopped. Kethra lay pinned beneath twisted metal. Each breath brought agony. His secondary heart struggled to compensate for the damaged primary one. Through his fractured helmet visor, he could see stars emerging in the darkening sky. This world had one moon, pale and round, not his twin moons. He was truly far from home. Blood pooled beneath him, mixing with coolant leaking from destroyed systems. His armor's medical systems were silent, dead. No stimulants, no healing agents, just pain and slowly fading consciousness. At least it will be quick, he thought. Better than being taken apart by scavengers. The forest around the crash site burned. Smoke rose in thick columns. Small animals fled the destruction. As night fell, the only sounds were crackling flames and groaning metal. Miles away, Minho was finishing his evening hike. He often came to these mountains to escape city life. Tonight should have been peaceful, beautiful. Instead, a flash of light tore across the sky. Then came the sound, a thunderous boom that shook the ground. His phone nearly dropped from his hands. Car accident. Plane crash. His mind raced as he began moving toward the distant glow. The smell of burning reached him first. Then he saw the smoke column rising above the tree line. "This is wrong," he muttered, breaking into a run. Too much damage for any vehicle. The devastation grew as he approached. Trees were down everywhere. A wide scar of burned earth led deeper into the forest. Minho followed it, climbing over, fallen logs and dodging still smoldering debris. Then he saw it, a massive shape unlike anything he'd seen. Curved surfaces, strange symbols. Definitely not human technology. His breath caught in his throat. A spaceship? No, impossible. But it was real. The crashed vessel was larger than a bus, its hull torn and twisted. Minho approached slowly, phone ready to document everything. His footsteps crunched on shattered metal and glass-like fragments. "Hello?" he called out. "Is anyone in there?" No answer came, just the groan of cooling metal. Minho circled the wreck, looking for survivors. Through a gap in the hull, he spotted movement, green liquid dripping. The color was wrong for oil, too bright, too viscous. Closer inspection revealed the source. A massive figure pinned beneath debris, definitely not human. The being was twice his size with 4 arms and legs. Its armor showed advanced technology beyond current science, but it was bleeding. Green and thick. Minho's first instinct was fear. This could be dangerous, hostile, but the creature wasn't moving, wasn't threatening. It was dying. "Oh my God," he whispered, pulling out his phone. His fingers shook as he scrolled through contacts. Hyun, his friend, was an EMT, would know what to do. The call connected on the second ring. "Minho? What's wrong? You sound—" "Hyun, you need to come here right now. Bring medical supplies. Everything. You have." "What happened? Are you hurt?" "Not me. Listen, this will sound crazy, but I found a crashed spacecraft. There's a survivor. He's badly injured." Silence on the other end. Then, "Minho, are you okay? Did you hit your head hiking?" "I'm serious. Get here now. I'll send you my location. Hurry." Minho ended the call and shared his GPS coordinates. Then, he looked back at the alien warrior. Despite everything telling him to run, he stayed. This creature needed help. Even if it was completely alien, even if it might be dangerous, it needed help. Moving closer, Minho examined the injuries. Some bones were clearly broken. Green blood flowed steadily from multiple wounds. The creature's breathing was labored. Ragged. "Can you understand me?" Minho asked. No response. Language barrier made sense. Using gestures, Minho tried to communicate. He pointed at the injuries, then at himself. Help. He wanted to help. The alien's eyes remained half-closed. Unseeing, Hyun would arrive soon. Together they could at least try to stabilize this being. Minho pulled off his jacket. Maybe it could serve as a bandage or tourniquet. The fabric was too small for those. Massive limbs, but it was a start. As he worked to put pressure on a bleeding wound, Minho wondered what his friend would say when he arrived. Would Hyun believe him? Would he run? Or would he help save a life, regardless of its origin? The mountain night grew colder. Minho stayed close to provide warmth, hoping his decision to help wouldn't cost him everything. But looking at the wounded warrior, he knew he'd made the right choice. Every life deserved a chance. Hyun's car skidded to a stop at the edge of the forest. His headlights illuminated the smoke still rising between the trees. He grabbed his emergency medical kit and flashlight, running toward Minho's location marker. Over. "Here!" Minho's voice echoed through the darkness. When Hyun reached the crash site, his breath caught. The twisted metal structure was definitely not from Earth. His medical training kicked in immediately when he saw Minho kneeling beside a massive alien figure. "Are you insane?" Hyun hissed. "That thing could be dangerous." "He's dying," Minho said firmly. "Look at all that blood." Hyun approached cautiously, shining his flashlight over the creature. Green blood pooled everywhere. Broken armor pieces revealed deep wounds. The alien's breathing came in harsh, ragged gasps. "We need more light," Hyun decided, setting up his camping lantern. The bright glow revealed more details. The alien had 4 arms, all showing signs of damage. Multiple fractures were visible where bone pushed through torn skin. "Hand me the gauze," Hyun ordered, beginning to work. Years of emergency medical training took over his initial fear. "Hold that pressure bandage there while I check his breathing." Minho followed instructions as Hyun examined their patient. The alien's chest rose and fell with difficulty. His eyes remained closed, though occasionally they'd twitch as if fighting consciousness. "His heart's still beating," Hyun reported, though he wasn't sure how he could tell with such an alien physiology. "Multiple ones, I think. He needs fluids." They worked together, using every supply in Hyun's medical kit. Bandages wrapped fractures, gauze packed wounds. Minho held IVs while Hyun searched for suitable veins. The alien's green blood was thick, making it hard to see what they were doing. "This is crazy," Hyun muttered, tearing strips from his jacket to create makeshift splints. "We have no idea if we're helping or making things worse." Suddenly, the alien's eyes snapped open. 4 black orbs focused on the humans hovering over him. Kethra's warrior instinct screamed danger. These primitive beings should have run, should have cowered, should have called for their military. Instead, they continued treating his wounds. Pain hit him in waves. Every movement sent agony through his body. But through the haze, he observed his saviors. They worked with crude tools but careful hands. Their faces showed concentration, not fear. Concern, not hatred. Minho noticed the alien watching them. "Hi," he said softly. "We're trying to help. Do you understand?" Kethra tried to speak. His vocal cords burned. His translator chip flickered. With damage, static crackled before words formed. "Why, help." The question came out distorted but understandable. Hyun paused in his work. "Because you needed it," he answered simply. The alien stared at them. In his empire, the wounded were left to die. The weak were abandoned. These humans were risking themselves for an enemy who could easily kill them both. It made no sense. "We're going to try giving you water," Minho said, reaching for his canteen. "Just small sips." Kethra accepted the offering, though he couldn't taste through his damaged systems. The liquid was primitive but clean. These beings were caring for him like he was one of their own kind. "What are you?" he managed to ask. "Humans," Hyun replied, continuing to work on a particularly bad wound. "From Earth. This is Korea." The names meant nothing to Kethra. His empire's maps didn't include this sector. These humans shouldn't even know space travel existed. Yet here they were, showing mercy to a warrior from the stars. Young Su arrived next, alerted by Min Ho's earlier texts. He brought more supplies from his car, blankets, first aid, and even some food. Ji-woon followed soon after, his veterinary. Supplies adding to their makeshift medical station. The four humans worked as a team, sharing knowledge and resources. Young Su's construction experience helped them create better splints. Ji-woon's veterinary training proved useful for the alien physiology. They cleaned wounds, stabilized fractures, and even tried to fashion a rough shelter to protect their patient from the mountain cold. "We should call for help," Ji-woon suggested, though he was already on his phone. "Emergency services won't believe this, but we need proper medical equipment." "Just tell them it's a critical accident victim," Young Su advised. "We'll explain." The rest when they get here. Kethra drifted in and out of consciousness, each time waking to find the humans still caring for him. They offered water regularly, checked his bandages. One even gave him their jacket for warmth. The concept was foreign to his warrior culture. In his empire, showing weakness meant death. Mercy was a legend, not a practice. Yet these primitive beings risked everything for a stranger. An enemy, someone who could have invaded their planet, destroyed their cities. The human minds puzzled him. Why waste resources on someone who might harm them? Why show kindness to a warrior who'd been trained to see their kind as inferior? Their actions contradicted everything he'd been taught about primitive species. "You're very brave," Kethra told them when his translator allowed clear speech. "Or very foolish," Min Ho smiled as he adjusted a bandage. "Maybe both. But if our positions were reversed, wouldn't you want help?" The question struck Kethra deeply. In his culture, the answer would be no. Warriors died alone. They didn't seek help or show weakness. But these humans had different values. Better values, perhaps. As dawn approached, professional help finally arrived. The emergency responders initially thought it was a prank call. Then they saw the alien warrior and the four humans caring for him. Shock turned to professionalism. As they realized the magnitude of the situation, "We'll need the hospital prepared," one EMT radioed back to base. "It's not a human emergency, but we have a patient who needs help." Kethra watched the coordination between his original rescuers and the new arrivals. No hesitation, no fear, just determination to save a life. His understanding of these humans deepened with each act of kindness. Dr. Soo-jin rushed to the crash site with her emergency medical team. At first, she thought the reports were a mistake, a joke, but the burning wreckage and alien warrior proved this was real. "Get the stretcher ready," she shouted, immediately taking charge. Years of emergency medicine had trained her to handle any situation. This would be her greatest challenge. She approached Kethra carefully, medical scanner in hand. The device beeped wildly, confused by readings it couldn't understand. His multiple hearts, different blood chemistry, bones that seemed both stronger and more brittle than human ones. "His vitals are dropping," reported her nurse, Ho Jin. They worked quickly, connecting monitors that only partially functioned with alien biology. Dongwoo arrived with the military medical unit. The soldiers secured the perimeter while he joined Dr. Soo-jin. As a trauma specialist, he'd seen everything, or so he thought. "We need to move him," Dr. Soo-jin decided. "The hospital has better equipment." "His translator is working," Min Ho informed them. "He can understand Korean. Maybe explain what you're doing?" Kethra's black eyes focused on Dr. Soo-jin. This female wore the markings of a healer, though her methods were primitive. She handled him with confidence that surprised him. "We're taking you to our medical facility," she explained clearly. "You have internal injuries we can't treat here." "Why?" Kethra's translator turned his question rough but understandable. "I am enemy warrior." Dr. Soo-jin paused, considering. "You're injured. That's all I see. Our job is to help the injured." Another concept foreign to Kethra. Healers in his empire served only high-ranking warriors, never enemies. The weak died for the strong. The transport to the hospital proved challenging. They modified a specialized medical carrier, reinforcing it for Kethra's weight. He watched as humans worked together seamlessly, civilian doctors sharing space with military ones. No ranks seemed to matter. only the goal of saving his life. At the hospital, chaos erupted. Staff had been warned, but nothing prepared them for the reality. The alien warrior barely fit on the reinforced examination table. Medical equipment needed constant adjustment. "I've never done surgery on this," Hyunwoo the surgeon admitted privately to Dr. Soo-jin. "We're guessing at everything." "Then, we adapt," she replied firmly. "Study what we can, make educated choices." Kethra endured their examinations. X-rays revealed complex bone structures. Blood tests showed proteins they couldn't identify. His secondary hearts functioned differently from the primary one. The medical team documented everything, learning. As they worked, the green blood has higher oxygen capacity, Dongwoo discovered. That's why he survived injuries that would kill a human. But his healing is different, Dr. Soo-jin added. Faster in some ways, slower in others. While they studied him, Kethra studied them. These humans showed dedication he'd never witnessed. They spent hours learning his body, treating each symptom with care. No hierarchy dictated who could help. Everyone contributed. Ezyomin, a young intern, brought him water constantly. Ha-jun, a radiologist, explained each scan patiently. Even the custodial staff, Jinna and Kyung-hoon, ensured his area stayed clean and comfortable. "We usually use these. Medicines for humans," Dr. Soo-jin explained before each treatment. "Tell us immediately if you feel worse." "You risk much for stranger," Kethra observed, his translator clearer now with medical power supply. "Every life has value," replied Dongwoo, checking IV lines carefully. "Our oath is to help, not judge." The concept still bewildered him. In the Valkan Empire, value came from strength and rank. Healers served power structures, not individuals. These humans treated him, a potential threat, with the same care they'd give their own. Days blended together. Operations to repair his internal damage, physical therapy to restore movement. Throughout it all, the medical staff showed unwavering commitment. They celebrated small victories, his first successful movement without pain, his ability to digest human food, his wounds beginning to close. "You're healing faster than expected," Dr. Soo-jin noted during examinations. "Human medicine combined with your biology. Your medicine is advanced," Kethra admitted reluctantly. "Not primitive as my data suggested." The doctors exchanged looks. His comment revealed he'd judged them before knowing them. A warrior's arrogance they chose to overlook. Patient education became crucial. The nursing staff taught him about human care expectations, how to signal pain without his armor's systems, basic needs humans monitored, rest, nutrition, mental health. Young Hee, a translator, helped bridge communication gaps. She learned basic Vulcan phrases while teaching him more Korean. Sunho, a psychologist, addressed the trauma of being alone. "On an alien world, we don't want you to fear us," Sunho explained gently. "This must be difficult." Kethra's mind struggled with these concepts. Warriors weren't supposed to feel fear or loneliness. Yet his isolation on this planet, surrounded by beings so different yet so kind, created emotions he couldn't name. "In my empire," he shared during one session, "strength is everything. Weakness means death." "Here, strength includes asking for help," Sunho replied. Admitting vulnerability. Their worldview challenged everything he'd known. Strength through cooperation, not competition. Value in compassion, not conquest. His recovery became as much about understanding these humans as healing his body. Military. Representatives visited frequently. General Park Jin and Colonel Lee Hoon asked questions about his ship, his mission, his empire. They treated him respectfully, but gathered information systematically. "We need to understand potential threats," General Park Jin explained honestly. "But that doesn't change our commitment to your recovery." Even military protocols served healing first, another reversal of his expectations. The final surprise came when his translator fully restored. As he drifted between consciousness, Kethra had absorbed more human language than he realized. Words formed easily now. "Thank you," he told his medical team clearly for the first time. The smiles that lit up the room showed genuine happiness, not the calculating pleasure of gaining an advantage, pure joy in successful healing, in saving a life that should have been lost. Dr. Su-jin patted his arm gently. "You're welcome. That's what healers do." Kethra realized then that his understanding of the universe had been limited. Every culture he'd encountered feared the Vulcan Empire, sought to appease their warriors. None had shown pure mercy to an enemy. These humans were teaching him what his empire refused to see. That strength comes in many forms, that mercy could be the greatest power of all. Professor Chang Min arrived at the hospital with books, tablets, and recording equipment. His eyes sparkled with excitement as he met the first alien visitor to Earth. For a linguist, this was a dream come true. "I've spent my career studying communication," he explained to Kethra through the translator. "Now I can learn an entirely new language system." They started simply. Chang Min showed pictures, objects, and words. Kethra responded in Vulcan, letting the translator work. But soon they developed direct communication, hand gestures, drawings, even basic sound exchanges. "Your vocal cords are more complex than ours," Chang Min observed during a lesson. "You can make sounds humans can't produce." "What language is that?" Kethra asked, pointing to Chang Min's notebook full of characters. "Korean, my native language. We use it alongside the common language here." The concept fascinated Kethra. His empire forced one language on all conquered worlds. Different languages meant different thoughts, different cultures, things his empire wanted to erase. During their sessions, Chang Min shared human history, art philosophy, stories that revealed how humans thought about the universe. "We have a saying," Chang Min told him. "Be kind to strangers, for one day you may be the stranger." The words struck Kethra deeply. On this world, he was the stranger. Yet humans offered kindness without hesitation. Nurse In-ho joined their sessions when changing Kethra's bandages. She moved with practiced efficiency, but always asked about his comfort. Her gentle touch surprised him. Vulcan healers were rough, believing pain built character. "Does this hurt?" In-ho asked, cleaning a wound. "Less than before," he admitted. "Your methods are gentler than my people's." "Healing works better with comfort," she explained. "Fear and pain slow recovery." Another revelation. His empire believed suffering made warriors stronger. These humans believed care made healing faster. Which was right? His thoughts were interrupted when Song-mi, the diplomatic advisor, entered with military officials. He tensed, expecting interrogation. Instead, they brought chairs and sat casually. "We hope you're feeling better," Song-mi said warmly. "We apologize that our food isn't suitable for your diet. We're working with nutritionists to find alternatives." "Apologize?" Kethra couldn't hide his confusion. "For not knowing alien needs?" "Hospitality is important in our culture," she explained. "We want you comfortable during recovery." General Hong-seok nodded agreement. "You're our guest, even though circumstances are unusual. Guest, not prisoner, not specimen. Guest." Questions came, but they were conversational. About his technology, his world, his travels. The military took notes but shared their own information freely. "We've had no contact with other species," Admiral Jung-ho admitted. "We always wondered if we were alone." "Not alone," Kethra confirmed. "Galaxy is like crowded, but my empire." He paused, choosing words carefully. His loyalty wavered between training and new understanding. "We need to know if others will come," General Hong-seok said gently. "Not to attack, to prepare, to welcome, if they come in peace." The honesty disarmed him. Vulcan military would never admit weakness, never seek cooperation from inferiors. But these humans acted as equals, despite their technological disadvantage. Days turned to weeks. Kethra's strength returned as his understanding deepened. Chang Min brought books about human philosophy, about cooperation, about building societies. That helped the vulnerable. "We're not perfect," Chang Min admitted one day. "We have conflicts, disagreements. Sometimes we fail our ideals." "But you try," Kethra observed. "Always trying is what matters." During physical therapy with therapist Min-soo, Kethra learned about human determination. Min-soo had overcome her own injuries to help others recover. "Movement comes back slowly," she encouraged as he struggled with exercises. "Patience brings progress." The concept would have seemed weak in his warrior culture, but watching humans apply patience to achieve goals showed its own strength. Yunji, the hospital's cultural liaison, helped him understand social customs. Bowing, respect for elders, community care. All foreign to Vulcan hierarchy where power alone commanded respect. Why show respect to those weaker? He asked, genuinely curious. Strength isn't just physical, Yunji explained. Wisdom comes from experience. Understanding comes from different perspectives. The word choice struck him. Perspectives, not ranks. In his empire, only one perspective mattered, the warriors. But humans valued many views, creating richer understanding. One evening, Chef Kwang Ho brought experimental alien-safe food. A.E. breakthrough after weeks of work. The taste was strange but nutritious. We finally found proteins your body can use, the chef explained proudly. Combined human and estimated Vulcan nutritional needs. They celebrated this small victory with shared food. Doctors, nurses, staff, and even other patients who'd grown familiar with their unusual visitor. The communal joy over feeding one alien showed human nature clearly. Dr. So-hee, the chief psychologist, noticed his contemplation. "What troubles you?" she asked during their session. "Everything I believed was wrong," he admitted. "My empire taught that mercy equals weakness. That primitives deserve conquest. But here you see something different? Cooperation creates strength. Care enables growth. Your primitive world functions better than my advanced empire." She smiled gently. Advancement isn't just technology. It's wisdom, compassion, community. That night, Kethra made a decision. When his strength fully returned, he would need to choose. Return to his empire, or stay on this world that showed mercy to enemies. The thought terrified him. Vulcan warriors didn't choose personal comfort over duty, but could he return to cold efficiency after experiencing warm kindness? His translator now worked perfectly. He spoke Korean haltingly, but improving daily. Chang Min encouraged him to share Vulcan concepts through human language. The exchange enriched both their understandings. "In space," Kethra told the gathered team one day, "we believe stars die alone. That's why warriors fight alone, die alone. But here," he gestured to the humans surrounding him, "you live together. Stars are born in clusters," Chang Min countered. "Only appear alone from distance. Maybe warriors just haven't looked close enough." The metaphor crystallized Kethra's growing realization. His empire's philosophy of isolation was false. Connection created true strength. Compassion built real power. When General Park returned with updated reports about space monitoring, Kethra shared information freely. Defense strategies, Vulcan weaknesses, ways to avoid conflict. "You're helping us protect against your own people," the general observed. "They are not my people anymore," Kethra realized aloud. "My people are here, the ones who saved me." The room fell quiet. Humans exchanged meaningful looks. "Then welcome home," Dr. Sujin said softly. The words settled into his consciousness like medicine. Home. Not a territory to conquer, not a position to defend, but a community that accepted him, protected him, taught him better ways. His perspective had completely transformed. The primitive planet had advanced beyond his empire in the ways that truly mattered. They'd achieved what his warrior culture never could, a society where strength served compassion instead of conquest. The alarm sounded at 3 a.m. Kethra bolted upright in his hospital bed, his internal systems detecting familiar signatures. Vulcan ships. 3 destroyers approaching from the outer system. His heart raced as memories of his warrior life flooded back. "Nurse," he called out urgently. "Get Wonjae, Defense Minister, now!" Night staff hurried to wake officials. Within 20 minutes, Wonjae arrived with General Park and Admiral Jung. Emergency lights bathed the room in red as they gathered around Kethra's bed. "My people come," he announced without preamble. 3 warships, standard mining operation. They'll scan for resources, then... He paused, struggling with what he must say. "Then attack." Wonjae's face remained calm despite the news. "How much time?" 12 hours before scanning range, 24 before weapons reach. The room erupted in activity. Radio calls, planning sessions. By dawn, military command had transformed the hospital conference room into a war room. Maps, satellite, feeds, defense calculations. "We need every advantage," General Park admitted honestly. "Our space defense is limited." Kethra examined human defense systems. Primitive by Vulcan standards, but humans had creativity his people lacked. "They expect easy conquest," he explained. "Never faced organized resistance from primitives. Use that." As morning broke, Kethra found his strength had mostly returned. The months of human care had healed him completely. Now those who saved him asked for his help. Jun-Ho arrived early, finding Kethra studying battle plans. His friend's face showed worry but determination. "Will this work?" Jun-Ho asked, pointing to defensive positions. "If we coordinate properly, humans excel at cooperation. Vulcans fight individually, even in groups." The question hung in the air. Would Kethra fight his own people? Could he? Jun-Ho seemed to sense the conflict. "You don't have to decide now. We understand." "No," Kethra interrupted. "I already decided. Months ago. When Dr. Sujin called me a guest. When Changmin taught me your philosophies. When Minho refused to abandon an enemy." He stood fully, towering over Jun-Ho but placing one large hand on his friend's shoulder. "I fight for Earth now." Relief washed over Jun-Ho's face. "Welcome to the team." The defense center filled with familiar faces. Minho helped coordinate civilian evacuations. Dr. Sujin prepared emergency medical stations. Hyun organized comm systems with his EMT knowledge. Changmin worked on possible negotiations, though everyone knew Vulcans rarely talked before conquering. "They'll hail when in range," Kethra explained to the communication team. "Standard demand for surrender. I can translate true meanings, not official words." Songmi nodded. Every bit of information helps. As the hours passed, Kethra found himself surrounded by those who'd saved him, each bringing unique skills to defend their home. Their acceptance of him felt complete, not just as an asset, but as one of them. The first signal came at midday. Vulcan battle frequency crackled to life. "Unknown system defenders," the commanding voice announced. "Surrender resources or face annihilation. You have 10 minutes. Kethra heard deeper meanings in the tone. Contempt, certainty of easy victory, sport almost. The commander expected entertainment from crushing primitives. "They toy with us," he translated grimly. 10 minutes is just amusement." General Park transmitted Earth's official response: rejection of demands, call for peaceful contact. Standard diplomatic protocol humans hoped for, but Vulcans wouldn't accept. "Prepare for impact," Kethra warned. "They'll fire demonstration shot first, show their power." He was right. The lead destroyer released a warning blast that vaporized. A small asteroid. A message: submit or be destroyed. But Earth had prepared. Kethra's tactical knowledge combined with human innovation created surprises. Coordinated satellite networks, hidden ground-based lasers, civilian ships retrofitted with weapons. Most importantly, unified response. The battle began at sunset. Vulcan ships approached with standard formation, perfect for individual glory, vulnerable to coordinated attacks. Human forces struck together, each supporting others. "They're confused," Kethra noted as Vulcan ships broke formation. "Never faced organized primitives before." The hospital command center buzzed with action. Screens showed battle progress. Kethra provided real-time translation of Vulcan communications. "They now recognize I'm here," he announced after intercepting encrypted channels, "calling me traitor, demanding I identify myself." Wonjay looked at him questioningly. "I won't respond," Kethra decided. "Let them wonder." Hours stretched as the battle continued. Human casualties mounted but remained lower than projections. Vulcan ships, expecting easy victory, took damage from unexpected resistance. Dr. Sohee monitored Kethra's stress levels. Fighting his former people couldn't be easy, but he remained focused, calm, purpose clear. "You've changed," she observed during a quiet moment. "War changes warriors," he replied, "but your people changed me first." As night fell, situation reports improved. One Vulcan destroyer retreated damaged, another circled warily, the third maintained. Position but showed caution. They'll withdraw soon, Kethra predicted. Commander faces embarrassment returning damaged by primitives, faster than returning dead. He was right again. Dawn brought retreat signals. The Valkan fleet jumped to light speed, leaving human space. Exhausted humans celebrated cautiously. Victory. But at cost. Damages. Injuries. Still, they'd survived first contact with hostile aliens. In the command center's quiet aftermath, Kethra found himself surrounded by those who'd become family. Minho slumped against a wall, exhausted from coordinating evacuations. Hyun checked in medical staff. Dr. Sujin finally sat after 18 hours of emergency care. "You saved us," Wonjay stated simply. Kethra shook his massive head. "You saved yourselves, your cooperation, your refusal to surrender, your care that earned my loyalty." He gestured around the room. "These people saved me first. I only returned the favor." Junho approached with hot coffee, a drink Kethra had learned to enjoy despite its human origin. "So what now? Your empire knows you're here. They'll be back." "We prepare together," Kethra responded. "Better defenses, better cooperation. Maybe—" He paused, considering new ideas. "Maybe reach other conquered worlds. Show them what humans showed me." The possibility resonated. Not just defense, but changing the dynamic. Offering Valkan enemies a new philosophy. Months later, as Earth prepared improved defenses, Kethra stood with his human family. They'd built integration chambers where former warrior and human medics worked together. Cultural exchanges where Valkan strength met human wisdom. The war with his former empire would continue. But Kethra had found something worth fighting for. Not conquest or glory, but the right to exist peacefully. To build rather than destroy. To save rather than eliminate. In quiet moments, he remembered his crash. The moment that changed everything. Min Ho finding him. Hyun arriving to help. Dr. Su Jin refusing to see enemy, only injured. Their choice to save rather than harm. That choice had rippled outward, turning potential conqueror into defender. Showed that humanity's greatest strength wasn't technology or numbers, but their capacity to see worth in enemies. To build bridges where others built walls. Standing on the hospital roof where he'd first learned to move freely again, Kethra looked at Earth's sky. Somewhere out there, his former empire planned conquest. Down here, his new family planned defense. But more than defense, they planned hope. Hope that compassion could transform warriors. That mercy could end cycles of violence. Kethra touched the scar where human care had mended his breaking. A reminder that sometimes salvation comes from unexpected places. That enemies can become allies. That home isn't where you start, but where you find belonging. The sun set over Earth, his Earth now. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but tonight, surrounded by those who'd shown mercy to a wounded enemy, Kethra felt something he'd never experienced in his empire. Peace.